Good morning. I am going to go over a few things for our language arts lesson today, and then I'm going to log in as my sample student so you know exactly what it's going to look like on your end. All right, let's get started. We're going to review the vocabulary words that we talked about yesterday. So these are the vocab words that we are going to see a lot in our lessons throughout the month of October. So distance, the space between two places. Remember when we talked about distance, we talked about social distancing, right? We talked about different sports and movement and the distance, like when you're running a race or jumping or biking or things like that. So remember, we're talking a lot about movement this month. So those might be some things that we read about in our stories. Down, to go lower or toward the ground. Fast, the speed that moves quickly. Force, the power that makes something move, stop, or turn. So it's how much power you're putting into something. Gravity, the force that pulls, the force on Earth that pulls things down to the ground. So remember when I was pretending to lift weights, right? Like if we're lifting weights, the weights are going to want to go down to the ground. So you are fighting against gravity to lift those weights up, okay? Move, to go from place to place. And that can be, moving can be, moving from a different house, moving with your feet, going to a different place, right? Pull, moving an object toward you. We talked about doors when you have to pull them closed, right? So push, when you move an object away from you. Remember the example from when we were talking about swinging, right? So you can use either a lot of force to push on a swing, and that will make someone go slow. But if you use a lot of force to also push, then that person can go faster or higher, right? Slow, to not move so quickly, but also not to stop. So just moving slower, not stopping. And up, to go higher or toward the sky. Okay, so those are our review vocabulary words for this month. Now let's get on to our lessons. Okay, there are going to be two things that I'm going to have you do independently, just so you don't have to watch such a long video. The first is to do the read aloud, okay? So it's going to be lesson 1, activity 2. I'll show you what that's going to look like on your homework page, so don't panic. It's a read aloud from to kick off our unit, same as yesterday, so it's kind of a review. You're going to read that, and remember on your iPad you can click on it and it can read aloud to you, okay? So there should be 3 different levels on it. You can choose which level you think fits you the best, and which one is easiest for you to understand. And also which one is easiest for you to read the most words. So challenge yourself, but I know you can do it. The second piece is comprehension questions that go along with that, okay? Again, I'll show you what that looks like, but we're gonna get onto some editing because this is sometimes a challenge, especially if you are not here with me. So let's go through this together. This is going to be your editing page for today. It's going to be editing a book report. And what we need to remember, that a capital letter is at the beginning of each sentence. Titles of books have capital letters. People's names have capital letters. So these are proper nouns. Names of places have capital letters. So these are important things. So the beginning of a sentence, right, always has a capital letter. And then also these important things, names and places and titles of books, those things all need to have capital letters as well. And then we also need to remember that a period goes at the end of each sentence. So just to keep this into perspective, it says 6 words need a capital letter. So we are looking for 6 words that we need to capitalize, and then 4 places that need a period. So 10 things within this book report that need to be edited. Okay, so let's start at the beginning and we will read it. This is a book report about I Can Move. Mateo moves fast and slow. He moves when he is silly and dances. Mateo pushes and pulls things to move them. I like this story because I like to dance and be silly too. Clearly we're missing some punctuation, right? Because this story, or this book report, is one whole sentence, and we need to really break it up into smaller sentences, okay? Because otherwise it's, well, I mean, I ran out of breath, right, trying to read it. So this is a book report about I Can Move. Mateo moves fast. Is there a spot in here that we think needs a period in the first line? All right, we're going to put one right here. This is a book report about I Can Move. Remember, that's the story that we read yesterday and also the story you're going to read today. So here's what you can do. You can choose one of these tools, okay? I'm just going to choose a red marker, and I'm going to put, come on, there we go, a period at the end of this. Now that I know that this is one sentence, what else do I need to change? Remember, we're looking for capitalization and periods. So I'm going to put a P over here for punctuation, and so far I've already done 1, right? So I need a total of 4, and then capital letters, I haven't had any yet, but we need to find 6. So this is going to be to make sure that I'm checking my work, okay? The book report is about, this is a book report about I Can Move. Now remember up here, it says the titles of books have capital letters. So we are going to make this a capital I. I'm just going to write right over top of it like this. I can move. Okay, so now this sentence looks complete. This is a book report about I can move. Mateo moves fast and slow. He moves when he is silly. Now remember our second reminder, people's names have capital letters. So how about Mateo? Remember that was the boy's name in our story. So this is going to be a capital M. There we go. Mateo moves fast and slow. He moves when he is silly and dances. Let's see. Where could a period be at the end of this sentence? Mateo moves fast and slow, he moves. Mateo moves. That's not really a great sentence. Let's keep going. Mateo moves fast. Well, that's a good sentence, but let's see if it can continue, because then our next sentence would start with and slow, and that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So how about Mateo moves fast and slow? Is that a good sentence? Right? It tells us who, Mateo, tells us what he's doing, and it tells us how he's doing it. So that sounds like a great sentence. We're going to put another period right here. So far, oops, sorry, I forgot to put one over here. 2 capital letters, 2 forms of punctuation so far. Now, since this is the beginning of a sentence, we need a capital letter. Awesome. So this is going to be a capital H. Sorry, it kind of covered up the E, but that's okay. He moves when he is silly and dances. Do you think that's a whole sentence? He moves when he is silly and dances. There we go. Oops, I forgot to, I'm bad at these tally marks. Here, I thought it would help me. Mateo pushes and pulls things to move them. There we go. There's another sentence. So we've got 4. So our punctuation is done. We found 4 periods. Mateo pushes and pulls things. Oh, I noticed. His name is Mateo, so that's the capital letter, right? And then it's the beginning of a sentence, so that's a double reminder that this needs to be a capital letter. Mateo pushes and pulls things to move them. I like this story because I like to dance and be silly too. Okay, so I feel like we missed a capital letter because this is capital I. I like this story because I like to dance and be silly too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we need to capitalize the whole story. Hello, I can, capital C, capital M, move. All right, so this is what yours should look like when it's completed. When you go in and do it, make sure you go into the globe, click home, and then that will submit it so that I can see your work. Now let's go in so you can see what your side should look like. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and log in as a sample student so you can see what it's going to look like when you log in, because there's going to be quite a few things. So remember to go on the snowflake. Here we go. So you're going to start with leveled book, and this is going to be your read aloud. The next part for today is going to be read and comprehend. So this activity right here, and then edit it. Okay, so we're going to have leveled book, read and comprehend, and edit it. And I'll make sure that these go away so you don't have to see these. I'm logged in as every student, so I get to see everything. So these 3 things for your language arts class: leveled book activity 2, read and comprehend activity 1, and then your edit activity. All right, good luck. Send me an email if you need anything, and I will try to either Google Meet with you or connect so that we can figure this out together. All right, good luck. Thanks, guys.